Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. Today is Sunday, so we are going through the book of Psalms on Sundays. And today we are looking at Psalm 74. This particular psalm here that we're looking at today, you can apply right to us. It really does speak to us today, which most all the psalms do. But this one in particular, with our nation, this is written during the captivity when Jerusalem is destroyed. The temple is destroyed, and Asaph has written this, and he's kind of in dismay, like, oh man, look at all the destruction. And then he realizes how great God is, and says the different things, how powerful God is, and ends with hope with this psalm. But the one verse that's the key verse here is it says, the one verse says, "A foolish nation has dishonored your name," and that's really the title of today's message here. Is "A foolish nation has dishonored your name." Asaph realizes that Israel was a foolish nation, leaving God like they did. And you can look back at, and I'm going to apply it to the United States. The United States was founded on biblical principles, on godly principles, but we have strayed so far away. And when you look at the modern government today and the things that are happening that are so ungodly, that it's like, I think God is looking at the way our government is running things, and it's like he's cringing, like someone takes their fingers and rubs it down the chalkboard, and you cringe. You're like, oh. And I think God is like that with our nation, like with the terrible things happening. And if judgment comes upon our nation, you can see why, because of how ungodly things are today. And so let's read this psalm here. And again, it's entitled, "A Foolish Nation Has Dishonored Your Name." Okay? And this is Psalm 74. A psalm of Asaph. "O God, why have you rejected us so long? Why is your anger so intense against the sheep of your own pasture?" Well, we know why, because they've rejected God. Okay? And just like our nation has rejected God too. "Remember that we are the people who you chose long ago, the tribes you redeemed as your own special possession. And remember Jerusalem, your home here on earth. Walk through this awful ruins of the city. See how the enemy has destroyed your sanctuary." Okay? So now he's beginning his walk to walk around Jerusalem and just to see that destruction. Verse 4, There your enemies shouted their victorious battle cries. There they set up their battle standards. They swung their axes like woodcutters in the forest. With axes and picks they smashed their carved paneling. They burned your sanctuary to the ground. They defiled the place that bears your name. And then they thought, "Let's destroy everything." So they burned down all the places where God was worshipped. Okay. Now again, this would not be the synagogues, because synagogues were not built until after the people came back. This is just places where people would get together and worship, not in the temple, but places where they would worship. So they were destroying everything associated with God. Verse 9, "We no longer see your miraculous signs. All the prophets are gone, and no one can tell us when it will end. How long, O God, will you allow our enemies to insult you? Will you let them dishonor your name forever? Why do you hold back your strong right hand? Unleash your powerful fist and destroy them. You, O God, are my king from ages past, bringing salvation to the earth." Now, that's like an awesome verse. He's crying out to God, like, God, how long are you going to leave us here like this? But he says, "You, O God, are my king from ages past." This is personal here. Bringing salvation to the earth. Verse 13, "You split the sea by your strength, and you smashed the heads of the sea monsters. You crushed the heads of the Leviathan, and let the desert animals eat him. You caused the springs and streams to gush forth, and you dried up the rivers that never run dry. Both day and night belong to you. You made the starlight and the sun. You set the boundaries of the earth, and you made both summer and winter. Okay, so all these verses, like from verse 12 to 17 there, he is saying how great God is. And the things he's saying is like no one could even think of doing those things. And so he's bringing hope. Like, God, you've allowed this to happen, okay, this destruction upon our nation here, upon Israel. But he's saying, you got our salvation, okay, you bring salvation to the earth. And then he tells how great the great things God has done. So it's hope. God can change things, is what he's saying here. Verse 18, see how these enemies insult you, Lord? A foolish nation has dishonored your name. This is really a confession here. He's looking back and he's going, oh, wow. This foolish nation has dishonored your name. Verse 19, don't let these wild beasts destroy your turtle doves. Don't forget your suffering people forever. Remember your covenant promises, for the land is full of darkness and violence. Don't let the downtrodden be humiliated again. Instead, let the poor and needy praise your name. Arise, O God, and defend your cause. Remember how these fools insult you all day long. Don't overlook what your enemies have said, or their growing uproar. Okay? Again, he's giving hope here in this psalm. And so this, to apply this today, it basically, you can look at it just like this was Israel, and the United States has done the same thing, walked in the same path, okay? Honoring God to start off with, but then really just worshiping ourselves and doing everything to please flesh. And so we've become that foolish nation, and we've just left God out of the picture. And when we confess that a foolish nation has dishonored your name, and then when we come back, there's hope, because God's waiting there for us. And the writer here says the same thing. There's hope, because God can change things around, but we also have to change our heart around too. So anyway, I conclude with that. Hey, thank you for watching. I am a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Lord's blessing. I'll see you later.